Yo, RX back with another recap of UFC 298 Topuria versus Volkanovski. We back with another recap, and we're recapping this time a pay-per-view that was okay. Could have been better, could have been worse. A lot of mixed emotions after it, I'll say that. Good, bad, and all the emotions in between. But yeah, it was no fucking card of the year. It was on the same level as 297. A fine card. Nothing you're not gonna watch the card and be like, holy shit, what a card. But you're not gonna walk away with it thinking, oh man, that fucking sucked. Yeah, I'm walking away with it thinking it was fine. Not the best card I've seen, not the worst card I've seen. It was another card, so, which, that, I don't know if that's what this card should have been. I think this card could have been a lot better, but, I'll talk about that more probably at the end. So, yeah, not very much more to say. I'll stop rambling on and, get to the recap, so. Before I do, please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2024. And as always, let's recap some fights. All 12 fights happened as planned. And again, it was a very mixed bag of good fights, bad fights, good things happening, bad things happening. So, it was a very interesting night. But let's begin tonight on the early prelims in the women's flyweight division, as we have a about the average fight I would have expected, as we have Miranda Maverick versus Andrea Lee. Yeah, this is the average fight I would have expected. Did go as I expected. I said Maverick was just a better fighter, better everywhere, and she was. First 3 rounds, she was a better striker. She was better on the ground, and she just looked better the whole fight, which was, I think, pretty predictable to an extent. Lee's not a bad fighter, but she is 35 years old. She is on a 4-fight losing streak now, 3 going into this fight. Yes, the barber fight was a robbery, but that's from not here nor there. She's fighting someone who is how much younger? 8 years or some shit? 9 years younger. And it showed. Maverick was quicker. Her strikes looked better. She was just a better fighter for 15 minutes. I think I scored a 30-27 across the board. I guess you could give Lee round 3, but does it really matter? So, yeah, pretty predictable fight I did expect to an extent. But like the most perfect betting odds for a fight like this, like Maverick was a favorite, but no giant favorite because she could have lost, but she fought the perfect fight she needed to fight to win this fight. I'll keep saying fight, I swear. So yeah, not really much else to talk about for this fight unless I'm forgetting something, so let's talk about the fighters. I'll talk about Maverick because there's not very much to say. She looked good, back in top 15, getting a pretty nice win. 2 wins in a row now, pretty dominant wins. She's looking good. How do I think she'll do in the top 15? Again, I don't know. It depends on who they give her and all that. But the right matchup, I think she could climb the rankings. She is a talented fighter. It continues to show. She is getting better. She's only 26 years old. Like, it's crazy how we've seen Maverick grow up in the UFC. She made her debut at fucking 23. So, we have really seen her grow up in the UFC, and it has shown. She's evolved in a very good way. So, good for her to get back in top 15, and let's see how she does, if she can keep that ranking, and, all that. So, yeah, good shit by Miranda Maverick. Good win. And now for Andrea Lee. Another dud performance. Like, if you just fucking swap these two fights and have the Barber fight happen before the Araujo fight, then it looks I don't know if it looks better or worse. So now, realistically, 2 and 3 in her last 5, and you could easily say she's lost 6 rounds in a row, which is not a good thing to say. She's just looking old. She's getting old. She's still a talented fighter, but I don't think she can fight at the highest level anymore, especially in flyweight division, which is very talented. I just don't think she has the ability to fight at her best anymore. Like, later in the fight, she did turn up a little bit, but A, it was too low too late, and B, even if she fought like that the whole fight, I don't know if she would have won, because eventually Maverick would have found her fucking out. So, like, nothing against Lee. Fine fighter, been around forever, since 2018, but it's probably time for her to get cut. Do I actually think they will cut her? I don't know. Maybe. I definitely think it's something to consider. I really don't see why you would give her another fight. She's now out of the rankings on a 4-fight losing streak on paper. 35 years old, and she's looking all that 35. So she just turned 35 also. So it's interesting case. I don't know if they I don't know if they will cut her, but in my opinion, you probably should. What do you really get out of giving her another fight in a FIS L? I don't know. So yeah, probably time for KGB to get cut out the UFC. Sorry, Andrea. So the only thing left to talk about now is who they should fight next. For Miranda Maverick, again, back in the rankings, I think there's some options. Like, who could she fight in the rankings? I really don't see anyone. Like, I was looking at this earlier, I really don't know who she could fight. She already fought Jasmine, and she should fight Casey anyway. Carini is booked against Lipsky. Cortez, maybe? Cortez or Araujo, but they should fight each other. Booked. And then you're getting too high here, so does it make more sense for her to fight someone who's unranked? I say so. Who, though? I don't know. You got who's building their way up the rankings right now? Or, like, who's, like, building them, like, Veronica Hardy? But I think that's too big of a jump for her. Like, that, like, really, all of the people who are climbing the rankings have pretty much been ranked now, it seems, or have lost. Like, maybe I'm missing someone, but who could she really fight? JJ Aldridge? I think that's her training partner. So, I guess the smartest thing to do is just wait and see what happens. Maybe Lauren Murphy when she comes back. Like, cause, again, everyone who she could realistically fight is booked. She already fought, or I think just better fights. So, yeah, it looks like Maverick's best course of action is just relaxing and seeing what pops up. Because, again, right now it just doesn't look like, doesn't really look like she has a fight. Like, maybe she could step in for a fight. Let's say if these two do fight, or something happens here or here, fine. But right now, I think all these 6 have better fights than Miranda Maverick. So maybe they find someone unranked for her to fight. But again, I'm not seeing who that person would be. So yeah, gonna be my bad. Gonna be interesting to say the least. And then for Andrea Lee, as I've said, time for her to get cut, which is weird to say, to be honest, but just being honest. So yeah, not very much else to say about that. And not really much else to say about this fight. It was the pretty basic, fine fight that I expected it to be, and to open up pay-per-view, pretty good fight. pretty good level fight for a pay-per-view opener. So, yeah, pretty good shit by Miranda Maverick. Good win to get back in the top 15. And who should she fight? I really don't see anyone for her to fight. Again, the best course of action is waiting and seeing what happens. So, that's what I'm going to say she should do. And, let's see what happens. Good win for the Maverick. After that, we head to our second fight of the night in the welterweight division. One of the lamer fights of the night, definitely not a very good fight. As we have Oban Elliott versus Val Woodburn. Very disappointing fight, I guess. Round one, they striked a little bit. Oban eventually got clipped, got dropped, but then he got Val to the ground and kept him there. And then for 2 more rounds, he just put Val on the ground and won. Like, pretty much the highlight of this fight was Val getting one nice punch in on Oban to drop him, and then getting wrestled for 10 minutes. About 12 minutes. So, yeah, pretty, forgettable fight. One of the worst fights on the card overall. And, expected a little better. So, yeah. To talk about, to go into my point of expected a little better, mainly from Oban Elliott. Pretty easy debut, and he did win, and he looked fine, but you got dropped, and all you did for 2 rounds was hug fucking Val Woodburn. Like, I expected a little better of a performance by Oban. Maybe I was expecting too much. I do think the kid's pretty good, but I did want to see a little more impressive of a performance, and I did not really see that. So maybe that was just my high expectations, or just medium expectations. But I definitely think he should have looked better versus Val Woodburn. So maybe debut jitters, whatever. I'll give him benefit of the doubt. He has to bounce back in his next fight with a pretty good performance if they give him a pretty weak opponent, because they probably will. I could see him fighting on the next London card against some fucking scrub. So, yeah, I am not the most impressed by his performance, but I will give him a chance. Maybe he'll bounce back with a better performance. Like, he did get the win. I know I'm talking like he took an L, but I definitely expected a lot better for performance than a boring 30-27 win. So, yeah. And for his opponent, Val Woodburn, yeah, he's just not a UFC level fighter. Like, simple as that. His striking is very below average. He hits hard. That's about it. He has no ground game. The dude cannot do shit on the ground. It looks like he's a fish out of goddamn water, because again, he just can't do shit. So, his gas tank, he was gassed by like the 4-minute mark in the fucking second. So, or in the first, my bad. So, he's just not a UFC level fighter, simple as that. Like, it is good to see him down at his real weight class, 'cause I do think it would not have been fair to him to not give him another chance after his, like, unfair debut. But to come out here, look like shit, and lose like that, definitely, a pretty sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, I would feel, and he looked terrible. Yeah, like, outside of one knockdown, he looked fucking terrible, so, not impressive Woodburn, not a UFC level fighter, and, yeah, probably won't be in the UFC much longer. Pretty simple. But besides all of that, and after a lot of negativity for this fight, let's talk about who they should fight next. For Oban Elliott, there's probably a pretty decent opponent for him. I don't think you give him a big step up, but you should give him a step up. Who that should be, I don't know. Rolando Bedoya is not a bad option. P. Rodriguez is too easy. Kinoshita, maybe. Let me go to page 2, because I'm not really seeing, like, Rolando Bedoya ain't a bad option. That might actually be a pretty fun fight, to be honest. Sam Patterson, but no, I'm not gonna do that. Elliott's always a good option for these young guys. Urbina. I like that Bedoya fight more, I think, but I do think that would be a pretty, intriguing fight. So, I am down to see that. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Rolando Bedoya and Oban Elliott, I do think that'd be a pretty good fight. Again, not really sure who else. No one else really jumped out at me as a good option. So, yeah, I'm down to see it. Bedoya coming off a shit performance. Oban coming off a shit performance and a win. I'm down. Oban Elliott, Rolando Bedoya. Let's do it. And then for Val Woodburn, I don't think I can go down far enough to find him. I don't know, feed him to a prospect coming off Contender Series again, or something like that, or just cut him now. You could, whatever you do will probably be the right thing to do. So, yeah, really don't see much in the future of Mr. Woodburn in the UFC, so, yeah, not very much else to say. Besides, for Oban, fine debut, should have looked better. I'll give him a pass. And who should he fight next? I like him versus Rolando Bedoya. I think that would make a lot of sense. It would be a decent fight. Let's do it. Okay debut for Oban Elliott. And now we head to our third early prelim and our final early prelim and our best early prelim and a very good debut, as we stay in welterweight for a pretty fun fight between Danny Barlow versus Josh Quinlan. Pretty fun fight. Good striking matchup early in the fight. First 2 rounds were fun exchanges. Both had good moments. Barlow, I think, was running away with the fight, and then the 3rd round starts and he just went into kill mode. He hurt Quinlan and then he just jumped on him, dropped him 4 times, and got the finish. So really impressive shit from Danny Barlow. He was able to look good for the first 2 rounds and then get the kill in the 3rd. Great shit. Really, really good performance. And I was heavily impressed with Danny here. Definitely an impressive performance, if you ask me. So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, not right. Like, the fight was pretty simple to recap. So, I guess let's just talk about Danny Barlow. Danny, like I said, he impressed me, man. He looked really good. His gas tank looked great. He didn't look tired at all. His fucking striking could have been better, but he looked good nonetheless. He loves throwing flying knees, which I think is fucking stupid. He just looked really solid. And I think that, like, he's still a little green, like I said, with the knees and all that, but if he can fix the few problems in his game, because they look to be very few, he's gonna be a problem, man. He's really good. And 8-0, 28 years old, couple more years, man. He looked great, and I know it's maybe a little too early to be talking like that, but when the dude has a performance that good in his debut against a pretty solid fighter, then I think there's definitely some reason to talk about him like he could be a very good fighter. So I was heavily impressed with Barlow here, and let's see what else he can do in the UFC, man. If the debut has anything to work off of, he's gonna have a pretty good run. So, great performance by Danny Barlow. And then for Josh Quinlan, another L back-to-back. I definitely got the same vibes from this fight that I did with the Trey Waters fight. He fought another long, lengthy fucking guy, and he just really could not get on the inside and get his fucking flow going. just like the Trey Waters fight, he couldn't really get in and do his thing. He couldn't time his punches. He couldn't, like I said, get on the inside. His kicks were... just nothing was really working. He had moments in this fight, unlike the Waters fight. The Waters fight, he just got his shit beaten. This fight, he had moments, but they were few and far between, and they really didn't mean shit. So, not a good performance by Quinlan. Yeah, he stepped on short notice, but no matter what, that really doesn't excuse the fact here that he got his ass beat. So, I really think he's gonna need to bounce back in his next fight, because he will get cut if he doesn't win. And I don't think Quinlan's a bad fighter. I just think he has really big issue fighting these long, lengthy guys, because they are just... his fighting style is not meant to fight those guys, it seems. And for the second fight in a row, that proves to be true, so it's gonna be interesting to see if he can bounce back. He's a good striker with a good amount of power, he just can't get on the inside. So, yeah, we'll see if Quinlan can bounce back. It's crazy how quick his record went from 6-0, looking pretty good, to 6-2, which looks pretty bad. So, yeah, not really much more to say. Quinlan needs to bounce back. But, besides that, only thing I've talked about is who they should fight next. For Danny Barlow, I think you could give him a pretty solid second fight already, because Quinlan's a pretty decent guy to smash in your debut. Who could he fight, though? Sam Patterson, I'm not thrilled at that option. Fugit, Yabina, I'm okay with that. Ratke, and, don't love it. Not really seeing any great options. I'm down to see... yeah, I guess Urbina is the best option I see. That or... and even Trevin Giles, I think, is a little higher ranked for Barlow. So yeah, I guess Urbina makes the most sense, because I'm really not seeing anything I like better. Who else would he fight? I'm really looking and I'm not seeing anything I like better. So, what now? Or you rebook him and Kinoshita, but why? I have to step down now. So yeah, I'd fucking go over Urbina. Urbina's coming off of getting flattened by Charles Ratke. I'm down to see Barlow and Urbina. Makes sense in my book. Good second fight for Danny. Urbina needs a win coming off a beating by Ratke. I'm down to see it. Let's do it. Urbina and Barlow. Book it. And then for Josh Quinlan, back to the drawing board. And back to fighting pretty much tomato cans. Wellington Turman, if he's still in the UFC, would make a lot of sense. Yeah, fuck, he could fight Kinoshita. I think that would make a lot of sense. Loser fucking gets cut. Yeah, fuck Kinoshita. Makes sense to me. He put his neck on the line, stepping in for Kinoshita. He got beat, now his seat's starting to get hot. I'm down to see it. Quinlan Kinoshita, book it. So, yeah, not really much else to say about this fight. Great performance by Danny Barlow. Great debut for him also, and I was impressed. I'm very excited to see how he evolves in UFC, and let's see what he can do. Only thing I have to say is who should they fight next. I like Danny Barlow versus Gilbert Urbina, and I like Josh Quinlan versus Yusaku Kinoshita. I think both those fights make sense. Barlow can get another nice win against Urbina. Quinlan and Kinoshita, loser gets cut. All makes sense in my book. Let's do it. Great performance by Barlow. So, those were the early prelims. They were alright. This fight was okay. This fight sucked. And this was pretty good. So, could have been worse. But now we head to the prelims, which were decent. Could have been better. And probably should have been. But they were far from terrible. So, let's begin with the prelim opener in the light heavyweight division, as we have 2 debuting fighters, and one of these guys had a really good debut, as we have Zhang Mingyang versus Brendson Ribeiro. Well, the fight started off hot right off the bat. They started striking, trading shots, and eventually Zhang hit Ribeiro with a perfect shot on the temple, sent him to the ground, a little ground and pound, and it was over. Zhang Mingyang wins his debut by vicious knockout, and he looked good. He looked impressive. Really, really good. Yeah, vicious knockout. One of the highlights of the night for sure. Just perfectly timed shot. We've seen the same thing a bunch of times where they're just trading punches in the pocket and someone goes down. So we saw it again here, especially at light heavyweight. Trading punches, someone's going down, and someone went down. So yeah, good shit by Zhang. And let's talk about Zhang first. Dude looked good. Yeah, he took some punches, but he was able to give them back and to get the KO win. So I was definitely counting him out because his record was really unimpressive, never winning a fight that went into the second round, etc. But he shut me up real quickly. He looked good. To knock out a dude like Brendson like that, he looked good, man. So yeah, impressive shit. Was definitely worth the weight of his debut. 2 years on the shelf, or a year and a half on the shelf. I think it's worth it now. So good shit from Zhang. Yeah, really impressive debut. And then from Brendson, yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I expect a little better. I'll give him benefit of the doubt that he got clipped. They were trading and he got clipped. I'll give him benefit of the doubt. He needs to bounce back because coming off the biggest upset in Contender Series last year, looking pretty good in that fight, to then come in here and get dropped like that, not the best look. So again, I'll give him benefit of the doubt. He's still young, so he'll improve maybe, and let's just see if he does. So gonna be interesting. Not really much else to say. Only enough to say now is who should they fight next. For Zhang, big debut win. I think you can give him a pretty decent step up in competition. After that, who I'm not 100% sure. Tanner Boser maybe, but I'd fuck that a step up. Probably not. I would say Devin Clark, but he just got fucking cut. Pragnell, that could work. Negu Mariano doesn't even fight. I doubt he'd fight Dong Jung. And now I think we're getting too high. So I don't hate the Pragnell fight. Like I definitely see some fights I don't hate. Like Bukowskis is an option, but he should fight Bogdan, as I said last week. Bellato's right there, but I forget who I said Bellato should fight. Somebody, I'll go back and look in my breakdown. So I'm bound to see him fight Pragnell. I think that'd probably make a lot of sense. That being Zhang fighting Pragnell. Yeah, why not, man? Big win here. Pragnell coming off pretty shit performance against Devin Clark, who just got cut. Yeah, I don't see it. So yeah. Fuck it, Marcin Pragnell and Zhang Mingyang. Let's do it. And then for Brendson Ribeiro, yeah, he's gonna get a step down competition, as he should after getting flatlined like that. Who could he fight? Heavyweight's not a deep division, so this won't be too easy to find. None of these guys are even in the fucking UFC. Well, this guy is, but I talked about him last week. he could fight... Shit. Zach Paulo just got cut too. Bitch. Fuck, he could fight Tanner Boser, to be honest. I have no idea. I'm not seeing anyone jump out. Like, I'm just really not... Maybe he could fight Nakamura since he's been off for 2 years. But even then, I don't love it. So, I don't know. I, definitely not seeing much for Ribeiro, so... I guess just wait and see. Maybe they'll find some low-level guy for him to fight. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, yeah. Not really much else to say about this fight. Fun fight. Cool knockout. And who should Zhang fight next? I like Zhang Mingyang versus Marcin Prachnio. As of right now, maybe I'll switch it to something different when I do fight ideas tomorrow. But as of right now, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that'd be a good fight. So, let's do it. Not much else to say. Good debut for Zhang. After that, not going to waste much time with this fight because it was the worst fight on the card. Very disappointing fight between Rinya Nakamura versus Carlos Vera. For 15 minutes, Vera just laid on his back. I swear to God, he did not do shit. All he did is lay on his back for 15 minutes, and it was a joke. So, nothing to say about Carlos Vera. The dude fucking sucks. I will talk about Rinya because I'm disappointed. I expected a lot better. I think he should have looked a lot better. He could have looked a lot better. Very disappointing performance in a fight where he should have easily got a finish. To not get a finish is disappointing, and I expect better. I know the kid is still very young, 28 years old, 9th pro fight, but you gotta look better against a guy like Carlos Vera. So, I don't know why, he could have easily made Vera stand up and strike, and he probably would have got the KO, but he just decided to not do that and just lay on him and do nothing. So, very disappointing performance, and hopefully he can look good, because now that's 2 performances back to back. The Fernie performance was okay, but you should be looking better against Fernie Garcia. And then this performance was just, the Carlos performance was just ass. So, yeah, I expect better. I want to see better from a dude who I think is one of the scarier prospects in the UFC, let alone at bantamweight. So, and he has striking. I don't know why he won't fucking use it, so, whatever. But, the only thing left to say now is who should he fight next. I was debating giving him a fight idea, but since he is a really good fighter, and I do look forward to watching him fight again, I'll give him a fight idea. I'm not sure who, because, especially at bantamweight, I feel like I haven't done this in a while at bantamweight. There's just so much fucking talent. He could fight really anybody. I thought someone say Brian Kelleher. That's not terrible, but I'm not jumping at that matchup. Katona, ooh, that's interesting. Brad Katona would be an interesting one, getting robbed against Garrett Armsfield. That'd be interesting. You could rebook the Brady fight, but I don't know if they do that. I'd rather not see those two fight. It would be better to watch them grow over time, maybe fight down the line in the rankings or some shit. So, I think it's too early for Damon Blackshaw, Taylor Lapilus. Fuck. Yeah, I guess he could fight fucking Brad Katona. I guess that makes sense. Why not? Let's see how Brad would do against Rinya. I think that'd be a pretty interesting fight. It'd be interesting to see how Brad would handle Rinya's striking and wrestling. So, honestly, I think that would make a lot of sense. So let's do a Rinya and Brad Katona. Brad, again, coming off getting robbed versus Armsfield. Sure, let's do it. Sounds good to me. So, yeah, not really much else to say. Disappointing performance by Rinya. I expected better, and hopefully he can look better in the next fight. Cause not only that, 2 iffy performances in a row. I want to see better. So, and just cut this fucking joke. So, whatever. So, disappointing performance by Rinya, and I think he should fight Brad Katana next. I think that'd be a good fight. So, let's do it. Not very much else to say. Disappointing. After that, we had 2 heavyweight for a fight where I'm a lot of things to say, kind of, as we have Marcos Rogério Pesao da Lima versus Junior Tafa. Yes, I said Junior Tafa. If you didn't hear the news, Justin Tafa got hurt during the week. Junior said, I'll step in and fight, and he did. So, the brother of the goddamn year, that was goat shit. And, yeah. What wasn't goated is him getting his fucking ass kicked, literally. In round 1, De Lima kicked his legs out badly, hurt him, dropped him, got a takedown and held him there eventually until the round ended. Round 2 starts, he kicked his legs out again, eventually he just fell, a little ground and pound, it was over. Yeah, pretty much went as I expected. I think Justin would have done a little better, but yeah, in hindsight, the Tafa boys ain't really meant for fighting De Lima, it seems. So, yeah. Let's talk about De Lima. Good to see him getting back on track. He's a really good fighter. 38 years old, and he's just looking really good. Yeah, he got flatlined by Lewis, but it happens. It's Derek Lewis. In his last 7 fights, he's won. He's 6-1. This was a robbery. So, just a really solid performance by Pesao, and I'm happy to see him fucking get back into win column, because again, he is a really talented fighter. And at 38 years old, to be doing this at heavyweight's impressive. So, and he keeps his ranking another day, so even better. Good, and respect him for being like, yeah, I'll fight his fucking brother on 24 hours notice. Why not? His leg kicks are so good, goddamn. So, good shit by De Lima. For Junior, not much to say. You're a fucking legend for what you did, stepping in for your brother and fighting. Amazing. Whatever. You lost, it happens. You're not gonna do this fight, let's not pretend. Your legs are still gonna be hurting. But again, respect. That was awesome. And heal up, brother. We'll see you back in here when we see you. So, yeah, not very much else to say about this fight. Very, one-sided. But it was cool. The story behind it was cool, and I'm happy. So, yeah. Only thing left to say, who should I fight next? I love how this looks. For Pesao, I'm only gonna give Pesao a fight idea because this is just fucking Junior. He has a fight booked already, and he just relax or heal up. So for Pesao, who could he fight? There's some options. You got, I don't think Nascimento has a fight right now, but I really don't see the point in doing that fight. I don't think so. You got that though. You got. That's about it. You could move him up to Spivak, but I don't know if you do that. I say you just rebook the Justin Tafa fight. You beat up his brother, now rebook it. So, I'm not gonna just see that get rebooked. I don't see why not. His brother stepped in for him, now let's see how Justin does. So, do they do that? I don't know, I doubt it, but I say that's what they should do. I think it'd be pretty cool. So, let's do it. Rebook that fight. So, yeah, not very much else to say about this fight. Junior Tafa's the GOAT. De Lima looked great, and who should he fight next? I say rebook him and Justin Tafa. So, not very much else to say. I think that fight makes most sense to get rebooked, and good performance by De Lima. And now for the featured prelim, a fight that was pretty good, even if it should have been stopped way sooner, as we head to the women's strawweight division for a fun fight between Amanda Lemos versus Mackenzie Dern. Round 1, Lemos was able to land the better shots. Eventually Dern did get a takedown, but she did very little with it. I think she had about I think about 2.5, maybe like 2.5 minutes of ground control, but she didn't really do shit. So Lemos got round 1 pretty clearly. Round 2 is when everything started. Then Dern kept doing her shitty Russian with her punches. She really reminds me of Juliana Pena. She did her shitty punches as she rushed forward, got clipped bad. Lemos started to lay on the damage. Eventually, Dern had enough damage, took enough damage, covered her face with both her hands, and fell to her back. The fight should have been stopped right there, but for some reason, Mr. Beltran decided, nah. And then Lemos beat her up a little more. Dern recovered and made it to the end of the round. That, no joke, if you missed it, this is a really good fight. You should go rewatch it anyway if you missed it. Either way, but if you just want to rewatch what I'm talking about, it was like middle round 2. I don't know what Lemos had to do to get a finish there. Dern literally quit. She put her hands over her face and fell backwards. How do you not stop the fight there? Dude, I've seen shit stopped for way less. Yuri and Alex was stopped for no fucking reason. Like, I could go down a fucking laundry list of shit. But Dern falling backwards, covering her face in pain, and you're like, yeah, okay, what's the weather like today? Oh, nice. Like, I respect Mike Beltran. I think he's cool, but this was one of the shittiest reffing performances I've ever fucking seen. He should have been kicked off the reffing card after this for the night because that was fucking pathetic. What the fuck were you doing? All I can say, I'm little and I'm like, I was really annoyed during the fight. And I'm so annoyed to just think about how shit that reffing was and how it could have went bad. But at least I'll talk about why I'm not upset in a second. So whatever. Then round 3, Dern just controlled Lemos on the ground. So yeah. We go to scorecards. I thought they were going to rob Lemos since they love Dern. But no. The judges got it right, which I was shocked about. And Lemos got the W she deserves. If they would have robbed Lemos, I would have just fucking quit, because no matter what Lemos did, she could have won that fight. But they did give her the decision she earned, and she got the win, so that's all that matters. Again, Mike Beltran wanted to really hit his bet on Mackenzie Dern, but the judges got it right, thankfully. So, yeah. Who do I want to talk about first? Yeah, I'll talk about the person who I ranted about first. Mackenzie, you are so shitty. God, you suck. You're lucky you're pretty. Hey. Yeah, she fucking sucks. Like, I'm not even, trying to be harsh or anything. I have nothing against Dern, but as someone who breaks down fights, tries to make accurate picks on fights, not bets, I don't bet. Never do any of my picks in the bets, trust me. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But for someone who breaks down fights, watches fights every fucking week, this, that, and the other thing, it's so frustrating to watch her fight. She can't fucking strike. She reminds me of Juliana Pena. Her striking is shitty punches or a shitty rush down where she just runs forward throwing shitty punches to get knocked down. Like, she's a terrible fighter. I say terrible fighter. She's a 10 out of 10 grappler. She can't strike for shit. And it just this was the worst thing that could have happened to her. Because she's not going to get better. She doesn't care to get better. And it shows. Because for fucking how long now has she... Dude, for fucking 4 or 5 years. It's just been clear she does not care. If she cared, she would have got better striking by now. She doesn't. The Hill fight means nothing at this point because she's not gotten better. She had one lucky performance against an okay fighter. Every time she fights up, she gets fucking annihilated. Her 5 losses in the UFC prove that. Ribas, a really good fighter. Marina Rodriguez, a really good fighter. Yana Xiaonan, really good. Andrade and Lemos, really good. What do they all have in common also? Striker, 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 striker. What does most of Dern's wins have in common? So, wrestler, grappler, whatever. Well, grappler. So, and then you got cans like these. So, she's just fucking terrible. And she's just a glorified Paige Van Zandt. Which I use at Paige Van Zandt, the phrase as, well, people only care about her because she's hot. But she's a shit fighter. She's probably the best Paige Van Zandt fighter in the UFC. Because she does at least have a talent, and that is her grappling. But besides that, she's a fucking joke. So, I'm never picking her again. Let me look at the top 15. I'll tell you who I'd pick her to beat. Jillian Robertson, Michelle Watterson. Probably that's it. But I think Carolina would beat her. That already happened. I think Ricci would beat her. I think Loopy would kill her. Pinheiro, that's debatable. And then she loses to everyone who's actually good. Well, Jandy Roberts she beat, but... So... Oh my god, what the fuck would Tatiana Suarez do to her? Dern sucks. Dern sucks. Simple as that. And talking about Amanda Lemos, she looked better than her Whaley fight, but you couldn't have looked worse. Her striking looked fine. Her gas tank held up later in the fight. She looked fine. Got the win. Got back on track. Good shit. Pretty simple. Not very much else to say. She beat a bad fighter. She got bailed out. She didn't have to fight Tatiana Suarez. So, yeah, she looked good. Simple as that. Now to talk about who they should fight next. For Amanda Lemos, I'm not sure. I don't think there's a point to rebooking this fight. Tatiana should just wait for the winner of Whaley and Yan. So that brings up the question, who does Lemos fight? What's Jandy Roba doing right now? Ain't she going to fight Loopy? I think Lemos should fight the winner of Loopy, Jandy Roba. Makes most sense. Because everyone else is booked or she already fought him. Booked and she fought him. Like the lowest, like the person who ain't booked is Pinheiro. Why is she still in the top, like 10? So I say you should fight the winner of Jandy Roba, Loopy. Like, most likely they will rebook a Tatiana fight, which I'm not a fan of. Tatiana should be getting a title shot, but knowing the UFC, they will rebook that. So, but this is my fight ideas. I don't care what the UFC does. I say Lemos should fight the winner of Loopy, Jandy Roba. Makes most sense in my opinion. So, yeah. And then for Dern, the can herself. Well, what do you do with her? You're not gonna put her on pay-per-view again. She deserves to be in the fucking Apex. Who did she fight? Pinheiro? Probably. Like, Pinheiro or Ricci, I would guess. I'm not really sure who else she would fight. Like, maybe she fights down and fights one of these, but I don't see the point. Especially if she does lose, that's the end of her. So, probably Ricci or Pinheiro. Probably the... What would I rather see? Fuck, I'd rather see these two fight each other. Damn. I don't know. I don't fucking know, to be honest, because I think I think Ricci should fight Pinheiro, coincidentally enough. I think Angie should fight Carolina. I think Gomez should fight Molly McCann. If you don't do that, I guess you do Molly. I guess you can do Michelle and Dern. I'm not 100% against that. But again, I think Michelle Larson should be fucking cut. So, I don't fucking know. Jillian should fight fucking, who did I say Jillian should fight? I think it was last week I said Jillian should fight someone. Fuck. I don't remember. But, Yeah, I don't know, I guess Morrison or Julian? Maybe Julian? I don't know. I don't care. She fucking sucks. And she's gonna probably lose again anyway, so whatever. But yeah, not very much else to say about this fight. I enjoyed watching it until the ref did not do his job of stopping the fight, but whatever. Good performance by Lemos. Happy she got the win. Who should she fight next? I like the idea of her fighting the winner, Jandy Roba Godinez. I know that's not gonna happen, but I could dream. And Dern, I don't give a fuck. She sucks. I'm done. I don't respect someone who won't get better. She needs to fix her motherfucking striking, and she won't. I have no respect for someone who's lazy. So, yeah. Lemos, good win. Happy to. This was fine. This and this were fine. Okay. God. So, yeah, some fun moments. Pretty fun. Like, there's a couple good moments, but I guess it was like a 50-50. You had as many good moments as you had bad. So, yeah. But now we head to the main card. Oh, Christ. A lot to say. And let's begin with the main card opener, which was pretty surprising. Good fight, though. As we have in our middleweight main card opener, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. Dude, Fluffy is really good. In round one, Fluffy was doing good striking. Yeah, Kopylov had some good shots, mainly body shots, but definitely Fluffy was winning. Then he did start wrestling more, and he took round one. Round two, more of the same. Kopylov had a few moments, mainly with Fluffy winning on the feet. Then he eventually did get it down and keep it on the ground, and eventually he locked up our rear naked choke and subbed Kopylov. What a performance by Fluffy. I expect him to do good on the ground, and he did, of course. I didn't expect him to look good on the feet, and he did. He looked pretty good on the feet, which is, again, I was very, very shocked at. I thought he'd kind of get outclassed on the feet, and he didn't. He was winning on the feet to an extent. He landed better shots, and he looked good. He just looked really good. So, and of course I'm going to talk about him first, because goddamn, man. He's a legit problem in that division. His striking's getting better, his wrestling's great, his gas tank's good. Dude, he's a real problem in the middleweight division right now, and as he climbs the rankings, first of all, he deserves the ranking, like, to fight someone higher in the rankings now. And second, God, Jesus, like, the dude could be a real problem for a lot of people. He's that good. So, I'm happy he did get the main card spot. I'm happy a lot of people are talking about him now. And again, I'm happy he looked really good. So, and to be a dude like Kopylov who's on fire, and as easily as he did, impressive, man. Really fucking impressive. Tafa Kopylov, he's a good fighter, but he really didn't fix his main issue of his wrestling. And then he was getting outstruck, which again, I'm a little shocked he was losing the striking exchanges. Since everyone agreed if it's striking, Fluffy's in real danger, and to be honest, he did not look in danger at all. Yeah, he took some bad body shots, but besides that, he fucking looked fine. So, I think Kopylov will bounce back. I think he's a good fighter, but I don't think he's top 15. He's a solid unranked guy, but I don't know if he's a top 15 level guy, so, yeah. But, yeah, not very much I'll say besides just, again, good shit by Fluffy, man. And who should they fight next? For Fluffy, he deserves to fight up, and who should he fight? I don't know. Kaio's booked, Curtis should fight, RoboCop, Craig is booked, Hermanson is gonna fight up. He could fight Delidze. He could. That would probably make a good amount of sense, to be honest. Yeah, I think that probably makes the most sense. Fluffy versus Dolidze. Because again, Coyote's fighting Craig. Curtis should fight RoboCop. Hermanson's gonna fight up. Yeah, I'm down to see Dolidze and Fluffy. I forget what I said Roman should do. But whatever I did say, I probably disagree with now. Because I think Fluffy should fight him. So yeah, man, it makes a lot of sense. Roman coming off a loss, a bad one at that. So yeah, 2 in a row actually. Yeah, I'm down to see it. Let's do it. Fluffy Hernandez, Roman Dolidze. Sure. Fighting another Roman. Just beat Roman Kopylov. Now you're gonna fight Roman Dolidze. Yeah, you gotta do it now. And then for Roman Kopylov, I'm not sure who you could fight. Tavares, not a bad option. He could fight Joe Pyfer, but they're probably gonna give Pyfer a super layup because his bum ass can't beat anyone good. Yeah, I guess Brad Tavares. I forget, who did I say Tavares should fight last week? I don't even fucking remember now. I think it's like fucking Abdul Razak or some shit. I'll look back and see who I said Tavares should fight, but I think Kopylov should either fight Tavares or Joe Pyfer. I'm leaning more towards Brad Tavares. I think that makes more sense. But either way, I think either fight makes sense. So, yeah. Pretty simple. But besides that, really good performance by Fluffy on pay-per-view. And who should they fight next? I like Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Dolidze, and I like Roman Kopylov versus Brad Tavares or Joe Pyfer. Either one works. I think he wins either fight. And yeah, pretty good main card opener. Fluffy looked great. Fluffed him like a pillow. Yeah. After that, I'm not gonna speak much on this fight. I don't like either. I don't care about either. It went pretty much as I expected. Maybe O'Malley will waste his time with Merab. I doubt it. And Henry, enjoy retirement again. Actually, I hope you don't, because you're a bitch. But, yeah. Speaking of bitches, another fight I'm not going to talk about. I have no nice thing to say about this fight, and whatever I want to say, I don't think I could say on YouTube. So, I'm going to skip before I, get in trouble on YouTube, with YouTube, so. Just thinking about that fight is making me pissed off. Let's just skip. You don't want to hear what I have to say. Trust me. Let's head to our co-main event of the evening. A fight that's pretty good in a middleweight division between two OGs. As we have Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. Pretty fun fight. Round 1. Rob won 4 minutes and 50 seconds of the round. With 10 seconds left, Costa threw a spinning heel kick that hurt Rob, and the round ended. I say Rob won that round since he didn't get dropped, he just got rocked, and he won 4 minutes and 50 seconds of the round. He lost 10 seconds. Round 2, Rob looked amazing, pieced him up, won that round. Round 3, Rob did slow down and start gassing. Costa was already gassed by this point, I don't need to tell you that. He did slow down, he still looked fine. I think Costa won round 3. And we go to the scorecards. I had it 1 and 2 for Whittaker. The judges had it 2 and 3 for Whittaker, and that was that. Yeah, I do think Rob won this fight. I don't really think you could give this to Costa. And, yeah, again, I think Costa won round 3. I don't think he won round 1. But, whatever. Rob got to win. Either way, he didn't get robbed. Rob didn't get robbed. Good to see the Reaper back. I'll talk about Whittaker first, because he actually fights. And, yeah, man, he looked good. He looked like Rob again. Not as great as Prime Robert, but he still looked good. The Drake's fight was an off night. I don't think we really need to dispute that anymore. He just looked fucking off in that fight, and it showed here. So, yeah, I'm happy to see the Reaper back. He looked rejuvenated. He looked happy to be in there again. He looked good. 33 years old, the Reaper still has some juice left in the tank. Good to see him back in the winning circle. It's been 2 years since he won a fight. So, happy to see him back doing what the Reaper does best. And then for Mr. Costa, well, for his one fight every 2 years, he had a good one here. He looked better than I expected, but he's just not as good as Robert. He's not. I don't get the hype around Costa. He's a fine fighter. He hits hard. Like, the Yoel fight did prove he's not a bad fighter, but do I think he's a fucking top 10 middleweight? No. I think he's more in around this level than he is around this level. So, he's a good fighter to an extent, but his gas tank sucks. His fight IQ ain't great. He's not technical. He's just okay. He's lucky he's a really funny dude, or he would just be another dude. So, I don't know. If he does fight again in a reasonable time, I'm happy. I know I keep shitting on him for never fighting because he doesn't. Trust me, I want him to fight more. If we get 2 to 3 Costa fights this year, I'm gonna be fucking happy as shit. He's entertaining to watch. He only has good fights. Just he never fights. So, yeah. I'm happy to see Costa back, but for how long? Probably not again till UFC. Let's see, what number will we be on in about 2 years? Let's say about 319, 320. So, who knows who will be fighting then? So, yeah. Costa looked better than I thought he would. I'll say that much. Now let's talk about who they should fight next. For Robert, I've had this idea all week of who the winner of this fight should fight, and it's not the one you think. It's not Sean Strickland. I think he should fight Brendan Allen after he beats Vettori. Because, let's look at it this way. Allen beats Vettori. He's now ranked 5th. That leaves he deserves to fight in the top 5. It's gonna be either one of these two. I think Jared should fight Imavov, and so that only leaves Rob. So I say do that. So yeah, I think that'd be a great fight night main event. Or fuck, you put that as a co-main of a pay-per-view again. Brandon Allen, Robert Whittaker. That'd be amazing. I'm down to see it. Let's do it, man. I don't see any problem with that. I don't know who would dispute that fight. Would Rob take that fight? I doubt it, but maybe. So, yeah. The Strickland fight just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. So, whatever. And then for Paulo, I don't know. I really don't, because you don't know what the rankings are gonna look like in 2 years when he actually fights again. Being honest, if we just look at the rankings right now, let's say Costa fights in a reasonable time, in 6 months or some shit. Who could he fight? No, maybe. I would like to see that fight, but it's not gonna happen. He's gonna lose to Kaio. No. It's probably between these two. I'm down to see him fight Jack Hermanson. I think that'd make a lot of sense. I'm not seeing anything else I like. But Hamza would be the ideal pick, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna see him fight Hermanson. I think that makes the most sense. If he did fight in a reasonable time again, let's say in July or September, yeah, this would be a really good fight on International Fight Week. Costa and Hermanson, good fucking main card fight. I'm down. Do I think it's gonna happen? Fuck no. I don't think we even get a Costa fight booked again till next year. Yeah, and then he'll pull out of that. So, yeah, man, I hope I'm wrong. And I hope we see Costa as quick as possible. Because again, I'm a fan of Costa. He's a funny dude. He seems like a good dude. He's a fun, entertaining fighter. He just never fights. So if he actually fights again, anytime soon, Jack Hermanson's a fight to make. So there you go. But yeah, fun co-main event. Rob looked good, and who should he fight next? I like the idea of him fighting Brendan Allen after he beats Marvin Vettori in about a month, so not long to wait. Well, not even, that's the last card before 300, I believe. So yeah, I got some time. But yeah, Rob doesn't fight that often, so that does not fight the most consistently. So yeah, he'll still have no fight by then, so yeah. But not really much I'll say. Good co-main, and good to see Rob back doing what Rob does. Good to see Costa back fighting. Let's keep it going. Let's see those two things again. Rob looking good, Costa fighting. Let's keep that cycle going. So yeah, good fight. Okay, now we get into the big boy, the main event of the evening, the thing everyone's talking about. I'm recording this late after the card ended, in a couple hours. I already know people will still only be talking about this tomorrow when I drop this video, because what the fuck else could you talk about? Because this is one of the holy shit moments of the year. Why did I say like that? Year. As we have in our main event of UFC 298 for the featherweight title, Ilia Topuria versus Alexander Volkanovski. The motherfucker did it. He told us all he would do it. He fucking did it. Can't even be mad at it. He said he was gonna be the champion. He said he was gonna be 15-0. He said he would knock out Volk. He did all those things. Respect. It's hard to hate him to an extent. Yes, he should have respected Volk a little more, but besides that, his cockiness made sense now, because he looked every bit as good as he says he is. So he looked great, and to do what he did to Volk is so impressive that I can't do anything besides just respect. And to recap the fight, round 1, very close round. Volk was looking good, and I do think Volk got the round. He did do better. Round 2 hits. The round gets more active. Ilia does wake up more in that round, and eventually he pushes Volk up against the cage. They trade some shots, and eventually Ilia hits this right hook from hell. Volk goes out instantly. It's over. A 4-year title reign up in smoke like that. Wow. Ilia Topuria is legit. We already knew that, didn't need to say it, but we knew it, and that dude is respect to, I'll just start talking about Ilia now. He did it. Again, I can't say enough. I can't even be mad. It's hard to be mad to an extent. He just had the knockout of the year, most likely, or at bare minimum, top 5? Against the greatest featherweight of all time, one of the greatest fighters of all time, and he went in here cocky, knowing he would do it, and he did it. It can't even be upset to an extent. So, respect to Ilia, man. He's really good, and he now has to fill some giant shoes of Jose Aldo, Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski. Let's see if he can do it. The 5th UFC featherweight champion ever. Let's see if he has what it takes to hold that belt, because very few can. And now for the legend of Alexander Volkanovski. I feel bad, man. It sucks, man. It fucking sucks seeing Volk lose. Who ain't a fan of Volk? I'll just start by saying thank you, Volk, for everything. For a great title run, fighting anytime you can to entertain us. I know I'm talking like he's retired. He's not. But after tonight, and I definitely feel like the Volk era is the hourglass has ran out of sand, and I think Father Time is really hitting him. I will say this. To have this fucking schedule in a year is insane. I definitely think this plays a big factor, but I do think he worked himself into the fucking ground without even knowing it. I think he would. I think he regrets it. I think this is what he regrets. I think this is his biggest fuck up. This and this, fine. This would happen. This, I think, is his biggest fuck up, because I thought if he didn't take this fight and he fought Ilia not coming off a vicious KO after taking some time off, what would have happened? I'm not saying he would have won. I think he would have looked better. I don't think he would have got KO'd as viciously. Dude, he could have fought Ilia, let's say, a month ago, because I think that's when it was originally booked, fucking January, and then he could be fighting Islam in a rematch for 300, or International Fight Week, or whatever. Like, a fairer rematch where he's on a full camp. But he wanted to be Volk, and he did it, man. He fucking showed up to the Islam fight, showed up here. He's a badass, one of the greatest of all time. Nothing but respect for Volk. We love you, brother. Thank you for everything, and if this is the end of the road, thank you. Now, the big question of the debate, what do you do next? The obvious thing and the elephant in the room is, of course, the rematch, which I think you should do. But now the question is, when? I don't know. If Volk rushes back into a rematch, I think it's going to go really bad. If he takes time off, I don't want to see Volk fight again until like fucking December at the earliest. He needs time off. If he tries to do this fight again in September or July, it's going to go bad. Relax, Volk. Take time off. Let Ilia have a title defense. And then Volk doesn't have to do shit on our title shot. Whenever he wants it, he gets it again. He needs to relax, though. Heal up. He was clearly not healed for this fight. He's putting too much strain on himself at 35 years old. Relax. We don't need to see you fight again right away. So, yeah. But if he does fucking relax and let Ilia fight someone else, who? I think there's three options. Number one, probably the most common talked about option, Max Holloway. Max, I think, is a weird case because fuck, the only reason he's fighting Gaethje is because he couldn't get a title shot at 45. So let's just say the Gaethje fight doesn't go terrible. Let's say he just loses a decision. Then I think he can fight again. And he could fight Ilia without really any debate. If he gets KO'd or something, beaten badly, no. The second option, and definitely my least favorite of the three, is Mansour Evloev. I don't want to see that fight, and let alone right now, I don't want to see that fight. Like, I get the whole, they're both undefeated, they were meant to fight, like, 2 years ago, and it would probably be an interesting fight, but I think Evloev needs one more win after that Allen fight, because that was not a great performance by him. So, I definitely, I don't want to see that fight in general, but at least if we're gonna do that, Evloev needs one more win against, I don't know who, probably Yair or Ortega, or Emmett, one of those three, then sure, but until then, he needs one more. And the third option, and definitely the most controversial one, and very few people agree with, but I think there's a good reason to do this fight, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it as much as they say they wouldn't, and that is Sugar Sean O'Malley. I know that one sounds insane, but think about it. Why not? Ilia has no one to fight. They've talked about, like, fuck. Sean wants to fight him. Ilia wants to fight Sean. They hate each other. Why not? Ilia has no one really to fight besides Volk, and that fight needs. That fight should relax for some time. O'Malley, after he beats Cejudo, what? Merab? No one cares about that. No one fucking cares about Merab. He can fight Corey for an interim belt. Who gives a fuck? the big fight to do, the big money fight, the fight a lot of people would like to see, in the main event, International Fight Week, MSG, whatever. Ilia Topuria, Sean O'Malley going for double champ. Ilia is just trying to beat a dude he hates. Why not? Everyone would want to see that. It would be a giant fight. Undefeated versus undefeated. I think the two youngest champions, I think they're both under 30. Why not? I say that's what you should do. You should do, especially since they were fighting around the same time. O'Malley fights in 3 weeks. Why the fuck? You can easily book this fight, but at International Fight Week or November, December. Why not? I don't see why not. If Volk does not rush back for a rematch, which he shouldn't, why not? And then Volk could fight the winner. That could lead to O'Malley and Volk. Jesus Christ. Or even bigger Topuria Volk fight. Like, I don't know, man. I think O'Malley's the best option to go for Ilia. Max, she is sure. Evil you're reaching now. O'Malley makes sense, and that's what I know. This just sounds like a biased O'Malley fan. Think about it. Why not? And if your only reason why not to do it is Merab Dvalishvili, you're a fucking idiot. So, whatever. What do I think they're gonna do? Probably a Volk rematch and just wait. But I don't think Ilia wants to wait. I feel like Ilia's gonna is a dude who wants to get back in there and fight. I don't think he wants to wait. I could see him wanting to be back in there September, August, something like that. So we'll see. I don't know. What a crazy way to end the night. What a crazy night in general. And respect to Ilia, he did it. Respect to Volk, one of the greatest of all time. What a main event. What a crazy main event. And I think what happens after is gonna be as crazy as what happened in the fight. So yeah. What a fight. Congrats, Ilia. Boom. That was the recap of the card. To go over how I did on picks, I went 7 of 12, 3 perfect, 4 40. Realistically, I would have got this, and this right if I made my unbiased pick. I would have picked Ian, Merab, and De Lima. So really, I only got Ribeiro and Volk wrong. But whatever, I don't care. Fine night of picks, not going to be upset about 7 right. The bonuses for the card were Performance of the Night to Ilia, Hernandez, and Zhang. Fight of the Night to Lemos and Dern. I would swap out Fluffy's bonus for Danny Barlow. I think he deserves it a little more. That's just me. Everything else I agree. Fight of the Night was either Lemos or Whittaker. And I don't know who else you give a performance bonus to. So, yeah, I pretty much agree. I think Barlow got robbed of a bonus, but that's just what I think. But besides that, really a fine card. Was it a great card? No, but it wasn't bad. So, and if you did miss it, would I say you should rewatch? Well, not rewatch, but go back and watch. Barlow, Zhang, the two best prelims. Lemos, why not? Fluffy, Rob, and Ilia. You can skip these two, they're not that great. Definitely skip this garbage. You could watch this, but it's kind of just like, skip both of these. So, pretty much Ilia, Rob, Fluffy, Lemos, Zhang, and Barlow is what I would say you should rewatch. So, but, yeah. It was a card. You had good moments like the ones I just named. Ilia, Ian, and Merab winning sucked. That definitely sucks, but the good and the bad weigh each other out, and it becomes just a fine card. Do I think it's better than 297? That's a debate. That's a really good debate. 297 was a pretty solid card itself. I think both have their pros and cons that I'm definitely gonna have to look at to see which I think was better, but I think they're about the same. Neither of them are gonna end as card of the year, so both were very fine pay-per-views and that's all you can ask for. So yeah, not very much else to say. I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll hear from me next Friday, 1 p.m. EST, for a breakdown of UFC Mexico, Moreno versus Royval 2, Yair versus Ortega 2, and all the other fixings. That could be a fun card. Mexico is going to be a fun atmosphere. Moreno's always great to see. Ortega is back. Yair, Ricky Torcios, Raul Rosas, a bunch of fun fights. That could be a fun card. And then you'll hear me recap that card Sunday, 1 p.m. EST. So, yeah. But not very much else to say besides I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2024. And unless I'm forgetting to say something, which I'm pretty sure I'm not. As always, RX out. Good vibes only and always.